Hello beautiful people, this video is about how to value yourself at work. If you don't value yourself, it's hard to convince others to. Hi, I'm Jennifer Kenny. I'm the best-selling author of The Innovation Mindset and also an award-winning author of 100% Capacity. One of the things I do is help leaders understand and articulate their value. Today we're going to talk about building an unshakable sense of value in the workplace for you. There are 4 really key things that I recommend that you do if you're interested in knowing how to value yourself at work. Step number 1 is know your strengths. But I would add to that, make sure that you know your strengths momentarily and that you're also looking at how you're building your strengths. Because the people who are the continuous learners and the people who are willing to be adaptable and flexible are the ones who are going to succeed in today's economy. So I hired a marketing group at one point for my business to go to my customers and ask them what they saw was the value that we brought above and beyond the metrics that we produced. What was unique about us and what was valuable about us. So as you think about how you value yourself at work, think about if you were an external marketing group going and asking those sort of questions of your customers, what would they say? And the best way to do that is to identify a customer who you know and love and who you have done great work with, and an internal customer, so somebody who you have delivered value for, and think about what it is that they would say about you. If all you do is the typical listing of skills, experiences, and achievements, what you're missing out on is you're missing out on other people's interpretation of you. So you want to be able to hone in on what makes you unique, what makes you special, what makes you valuable, what you're bringing to the table. Absolutely, you want to have a handle on what are the achievements you've had, what are the metrics you've impacted, what are the projects that you've worked on, but you want to have those in terms of value that has brought to internal or external customers. As you start building an understanding of how other people see you, it's important to be really brutally honest with yourself and to be able to say, other people value me as kind, great. Other people value me as trustworthy. Other people value me as bringing specific expertise in a particular area. And as you start building that out, look at what's there, but also look at what's missing. And look at what's missing in terms of where you want to grow and how you want to expand your capabilities over time. Wherever you can get real feedback, and wherever you can get yourself comfortable with listening to real feedback, and that is hard. If you are asking the question of how to value yourself at work, part of what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a position where you want to be able to hear what other people have to say. If there's an opportunity for you to be able to have a conversation with a peer who you know and like and trust and say, hey, what's unique about me at work? What's valuable about what it is that I do at work? And you're able to sit there and listen to what it is that they have to say without getting defensive or without getting upset, then that can be an incredibly valuable conversation. When you're starting having these conversations, I strongly recommend that you start small. You start with people who like you start with people who trust you, you start with people who know you, and you build it the same way you build any other practice in your life. You build the muscle of being able to do that on a consistent, recurring basis. You can ask your manager if you're ready for that. Now, when you're asking your manager, remember, your manager is more than likely going to see this as a career counseling opportunity, as a career development opportunity or conversation for you as you looking to be able to get promoted. So listen to some of my other videos on those topics and make sure that if you are looking to understand how to value yourself at work, you're also looking at, am I looking to get promoted as a result of this? Am I looking to understand career advancement opportunities for myself? So don't go and have a conversation with your manager where that might be a kind of one-shot opportunity. Now, you obviously have one-on-ones, but there might be a one-shot opportunity where they might confuse it with you're looking to get promoted, you're looking to have a career development conversation. Be clear on the type of conversation you want to have. And if, as a result of this conversation, you step back and you go, well, actually, I do want to know how to value myself at work so that I can get promoted, then have that conversation with them. Part of what you're doing in here is you're looking to be brutally honest with yourself and brutally honest with whoever it is that you're having the conversation with. If you have a mentor, mentors are fabulous for helping you understand what your value is, because they're mentoring you because they see your value. They're mentoring you because they like and respect and admire your value. They're mentoring you because they want to help you grow your value. So if you don't already have a mentor and there's a mentor program in your organization, put your hand up, get yourself a mentor. Go ask someone to be your mentor who you like, respect, and admire, and go start building that mentorship relationship and recognize that your mentor is someone who will help you articulate what is unique about the value that you bring at work. The other thing is understand your impact. What I have noticed with a lot of early stage, mid-career people is that they tend to think in terms of activities and not in terms of impact. I really encourage you not to think in terms of stuff that I have done, but to think instead in terms of impact that I've had for organizations, for teams, for individual customers, for department heads, for project leads, for my boss, for my boss's boss. What is the impact that you have had? And the difference between that is I did X, so I was on this project, I was part of this team, versus as a team, we delivered these results. We delivered this impact. We improved customer satisfaction. We reduced cycle time. We brought a product to market. So think about the impact that you had. And if you brought a product to market, understand the value of that product in the marketplace. Was that a product that came to market and was very successful and now accounts for 15% of your company's portfolio or 15% of your company's revenue? Begin to understand the context in which you added value. Once you start asking those context conversations, they're going to really help you understand how you add value and where your value contributes to the bigger whole. This sounds like a really strange thing to say when we are talking about how to value yourself at work. But I think this is just how to value yourself in life, and work is just one of the aspects of life, and that is set boundaries. I have seen so many people end up just burning themselves out because they accept every single thing that's asked of them at work, and they have not learned how to decline, how to say no, and how to maybe make a counter offer that in the end might be more valuable. I talk about that process in other videos, but I really encourage you to start thinking about what does it mean for me to set boundaries so that I can protect my time and I can focus on high value work. Now, that doesn't mean that you say no to everything that comes across your plate. It certainly doesn't. It also doesn't mean that you say yes to everything that comes across your plate, but that if you're putting things through the filter of what matters to you. I run this program called Get Promoted, and one of our very first steps in that program is to have a deeper understanding of what matters to you. What is it that you care about? What is it that you want to make happen in the world? What is it that you want to be able to add value regarding? Who is it that you want to contribute to? How do you want the world to be a better place, even for a small group of people or for a huge number of people when you're done? As you think about setting boundaries, think about what can I say no to without having serious negative consequences? Think about what matters to me and what do I absolutely want to say yes to? What do I want to make offers around that will position me to be able to do more of the work that I love? And I do other videos on the whole process of making offers, and I have handouts associated with that as well. And I talk about that extensively in the Get Promoted program. But what I want you to really look at is if you don't prize your own time and value your own time, that precludes you from really understanding your own value. They really do go hand in hand. Keep learning is a super common response to how do I value myself at work. But the learning is super important because what it does is it builds your self-confidence, and as you build your self-confidence and you build your knowledge and you build your usefulness inside the company, what you're also doing is you are building your understanding of your own value, because people are going to reflect that back to you. As you start looking at your continuous learning that you want to be able to do in terms of growing yourself, what you'll do is you'll build more confidence for yourself. Others will reflect your value back to you. but it has to be based on what matters to you and what you want to make happen. Now, we don't always know that straight away. Same way you might go into a shoe store and try on 10 different shoes before you find one that you really like. You're going to try on a lot of different things before you really land on something that you are deeply passionate about, that you care about, that you might want to grow into for a career of 30, 35, 40 years. So it's not cast in stone. Once you pick a path, you can change. I'm not saying that you stick to the same one for the entirety, but what you will find is that if you get a good handle on what it is that matters to you, what it is that you want to create in the world, how it is that you want to add value, what you recognize is the learning that you want to do is based on that. It is not based on someone sending you off to courses that they might think are valuable for you. Now, there'll be a certain amount of that happening in the early stages of your career, and that's fantastic if you have a manager who kind of looks after you like that. But I think that the conversations that you have with your manager, the more they can be about what it is that you're passionate about, where you think you can add value, the more in alignment they're going to be with who you are and what it is that you want to do. As you start flexing your ability to be able to value yourself at work, I really encourage that you do these 4 things. You know your strengths, you understand your impact, you set your boundaries, and you keep learning. If you do those 4 things on a consistent basis, grounded in what you care about, what you're passionate about, what matters to you, and what you know can add value to your boss and to your organization, then what you will find is the conversation around value and discussions around value become simpler and simpler over time. I've done a number of videos on the power of making offers. I've done videos on how to get yourself promoted. If you look at those and you begin to think about your promotability and your promotion readiness, I recommend that you do my promotion readiness assessment. It's totally free. There's a link to it down in the comments. It's www.getpromotedassessment.com. It's also on my website as part of the free resources on my site. If you do that and you're brutally honest with yourself, it'll give you a report back to let you understand where you are in the process of promotability, and it'll help you begin the journey of start thinking about how you value yourself at work. As you go through this process, I want to be here to support you. I wish you the very best of luck with this process. This is a very important conversation to be having early on in your management or leadership career, and I wish you the absolute best of luck with it. Subscribe, like, drop me a comment, let me know whether or not this is valuable for you, and I look forward to seeing you again. Take care.